have another question here. We're told to find the equation of the line. We start with our equation for a straight line graph. We have y is equal to mx plus c. That's an x there. And we go for the c. What is our c? Okay, we want to get a c first. Let's go here. We want to get a c. When we're done with the c, we go for the mx. And then we add both together and then we get our answer. Good. So let's go for the c. Okay, what is our c? Okay, c. Now c is the y-intercept. Now let's look for our graph. We can see that this line here runs from top to bottom. It goes down. Oh, it goes down. Beautiful. Good. And it cuts the y-axis. As it went down, it cuts the y-axis at which point? Aha, it cuts it here. Beautiful. I'm just going at 5. So our c is 5. There we go. Our c is 5. 5 here. And if we want to rewrite our equation, we should have what? Y is equal to mx plus 5. We still have the mx to go, which is our gradient. Now let's go for the gradient. So we call that number 2 there. 2 there, which is our mx. We want to look for our mx. We know that our mx means that's gradient. So gradient. And what was a gradient? A gradient is equal to rise over run. But before we go into that, we could also observe that our graph is going down. Let's look at it again. Okay, we can see that it starts from this end. You read from left to right, and it goes down. It crosses the y-axis there and proceeds down. That means our gradient is negative. So our gradient here will be a negative. Okay, will be a negative sign. So we have that. So whatever we get as our gradient is going to be negative. Beautiful. So let's proceed. Now, we've got a point here where it cuts the x-axis. We have a point there. We have that already as our y-intercept. And we have another point where it cuts the y-axis. And this one, and this time, is much better. It's much better. It didn't cut it here or here in between. No. It cut it where 3 lines meet. Now let's look at the 3 lines. Now the first line is this, the x-axis. Good. The second line is this, from here, from top to bottom. Beautiful. And the third one is our question. That runs from top to the bottom, runs down. Okay, good. We can see that they all meet at this point. So this is a great point to use. So let's wipe this off and then we go for the question. Okay, good. Now let's start afresh. So here is the first point. And here is where it cuts the x-axis. And we can form our triangle. We have here, right angle triangle. Okay. And then we have from here to here. And then we have our slope there. Oh, beautiful. Good. Now, let's go. Let's go for the rise first. Rise. Rise. From here, it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have 5 there. And run. Run. We start from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, 5 over 5. And 5 over 5 is what? Is 1. That's 1 over 1, which is 1. So therefore, we have what? We have a gradient now. Now let's put it in. Y is equal to mx plus c. We know that our c is what? Our c is 5. That's plus 5. And we know that our gradient is 1. 1. We put the x in. And our y. We can't leave our answer like this. You don't leave it as 1x. You leave it as x. When the value in front of the x is a 1, you don't write it. So we're going to have an x there. And then we have plus 5. And then finally, we have our gradient. Our gradient is a negative. So we have to add a negative. It has to come in front of the gradient. So therefore, our gradient here, which is 1, actually it's supposed to be a minus 1. And since we have made the 1 invincible, we still need to put a negative sign. So we're going to rub this off and put a negative sign. Now I'm going to make it red. Yeah, good. And then we're going to have this is equal to and then we're going to have our y. Beautiful. So our answer is y is equal to minus x plus 5. We know what the plus 5 is, so that's our y-intercept. And we know y is negative x because the line graph runs from top to bottom. We know y is negative x because the line graph runs from top to bottom, so that makes it a negative. That's why it is negative x minus x. Beautiful.